Passionate about music.
Look, everyone, Dr. Max will see us now. Dr. Max is here. Pemberton. Welcome back to Gaydar. Lovely to see you.
Hello.
I've got in my hand your giant piece of work. It's your latest book with a very dashing photo of you on the cover. I'm just going to hold that up to the webcam now.
And we're going to discuss this in full a little bit later on the show, but you very kindly said, before we start anything else, that you tell us your coming out story, seeing as we're doing the coming out story.
Yes. I suppose I must have been probably 18, and I'd done 1 year at medical school, and it was quite odd at medical school. In my year I was the only out gay bloke, which is odd, seeing there was 200 odd of us in my year, and it was quite strange. I felt sort of quite isolated, even though I was in central London. It just sort of seemed very that I was the only one. I didn't know very many other gay people, but thankfully my friend who I'd known for years and years and years, Tasha, she went off to Trinity College and did drama, so she started to kind of introducing me to some gays.
Yeah, there's definitely got to be some gay people in drama.
And that gave me a bit more kind of confidence. And then over a summer holiday, my mum had been quite unwell, and I was back seeing her, and it was very late at night, and she just suddenly, apropos of absolutely nothing, just said, "Why don't you have a girlfriend?" And I'd had girlfriends up until I'd gone to medical school, but this had been a whole year of me not having girlfriends. I did also have boyfriends, but that's another story. And I just thought, well, I don't want to lie to her. We've always had a really open, honest relationship. And so I just said, do you really want to know the answer? And she said, yes. And I said, even though you might not like the answer. And she said, yes, I want you to tell me. Why don't you have a girlfriend? And I said, well, because I'm gay. And she just went, oh, right, okay. And that was it. And I remember saying, no, actually, to be honest, she said it just never occurred to me, because I think she just doesn't think about things on that level. She just doesn't care, and she really doesn't care. So she doesn't even walk around thinking about people's sexuality. It just is not an issue for her at all. And I remember sort of sitting there and being slightly silent for a bit. And I said, do you want me to go back to London? And she just went, well, why would I want you to go back to London? I said, well, are you really angry with me or upset? And she said, oh, God, no, I don't care at all. I'm just really thirsty. So I made some tea. So I had to go and make a cup of tea. So, okay, fine.
Is that what we get the coming out stories where people get the big moment comes and they get disappointing reaction?
I was actually slightly irritated. I thought, how annoying. I wanted her to kind of be really angry, kind of throw things at me, and then there'd be some big cathartic kind of EastEnders type sort of scene, and it wasn't like that at all. And actually, I think the way she dealt with it in telling other people was really interesting as well, because she's Catholic, and she was teaching at the time at a fairly conservative Catholic school, and her kind of thesis was, if you give it to people as being a big deal, then they will respond to it as though it's a big deal. But if you give it to people as though it's nothing, then actually most people take that as their cue, and then they don't really think it's anything either. And that's exactly what she did. So she just kind of drop it into conversation and go, blah, blah, blah. And my son, of course, he's gay and such and such. And I've never had any nastiness, any unpleasantness from anyone. And I kind of really much credit my mum with that, just the way she dealt with it, because everyone was looking to her to see what the response should be, and because she dealt with it in such a kind of laid-back fashion, that's pretty much everybody else sort of dealt with it like that.
So we've got to criticise her that she didn't make enough drama the first time, but we're going to hand it to her that she handled it brilliantly. Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Max.
That's a great story. Thank you, Dr. Max. If you'd like to share your experience of coming out, we'd love to hear your story.
Neil
at
GaydarRadio. Join in, drmax.com.
Passionate about music.